Hi, my name is Scott Peary, and I'm the head trainer coach at NeuroFit RX. And today we're going to talk about how the brain and the body work together to create good, optimal movement. So, whether you're doing yoga or Pilates or CrossFit training or high-intensity training or even corrective exercise, all those forms of movement and exercise are kind of dictated by the sensory input to the brain and how the brain interprets that information. And then there's an output which we see as movement, and that could be pain and strength and all sorts of things like that. So if you're really into functional sorts of movements that transfer to real life, this video will be something that you'll want to refer back to several times because the concepts will be something that will be of interest to you. Today we're going to use muscle testing, and I'll go through a process for doing that I use to determine how that sensory input is being interpreted by the brain and how we can use that as an assessment to be able to determine whether the sensory input is good and that the muscles are responding the way that they're supposed to. So I'm going to bring an assistant over here and we're going to go through some of the muscle testing. Okay, so I'm here with Sky today, and we're going to do a demonstration of kind of how I use muscle testing to determine sensory input to the muscles and to see if the response is correct and how that plays into movement. So in doing muscle testing, there's a couple things that I look at kind of before I actually start testing the system. And number one is I want to see if the brain can do two tasks at the same time. It helps me to understand if the nervous system is functioning at a point where when I do some work with them, if I'm getting accurate responses. So I'm going to do a test with her. And the first test is just to push this arm down. Ready, hold. And she's nice and strong. And then I'm going to push this arm across. Ready, hold. And she's nice and strong. Now I'm going to do two at the same time. So I'm going to push across and down. Ready, hold. And she's strong. Okay, so that tells me that at a very baseline level, she can do two things at the same time. Now, if I had her do multiple things, that might not be the case. But at least at a baseline level, she's doing well. So the other thing that I have a person do is I have them to see if the gait pattern is correct. And what I mean by that is when you're walking, there's certain reflex motor or movement or muscle patterns that should exist. So I'm going to have her step forward with her right leg. So she steps forward. Now this arm should swing forward at the same time. Hold. And she's strong. That's a normal response. Now this arm back here should be weak at the same time. Ready? Hold. Don't we pull? And it weakens. So that's a normal response. So then I'm going to have her step forward with the other leg. And when that leg goes forward, this arm should be strong, hold, and it's weak. So there's a problem in kind of gait pattern. So there's a pattern problem there. And this arm, in that case, this one should be weak. Ready, hold, and it's strong. So there's a pattern thing that I'll want to at some point address just because I want to make sure that the pattern is correct. We may go back and assess that as we go through and do some things. I'll want to make sure that by the end of working with somebody that's correct. So as far as muscle testing goes, the basic premise is if I take a muscle, and I'm going to have her stand here, I'm going to have her do a middle deltoid test. So I'm going to go ahead and push down. Ready, hold. And she's strong. She just resisted, strong. If I take the ends of the muscle and I push them together like so, push them together, and I retest, she goes weak. If I tell her to hold, it doesn't matter. I basically sent a signal to the brain that the muscle was shortened and the normal response is for it to let go. Okay, so that's a normal response. Okay, so we're going to look at we're going to test a series of muscles and we're going to look at, see if we're getting normal responses or abnormal responses, and then we'll talk a little bit about what that means and what we can do about it.